Mom's sick, so I came instead. The morning sun filtered through the tall glass windows of Mitchell Industries, casting long golden streaks across the marble lobby floor. The building hummed with its usual quiet efficiency. Elevators chimed softly as employees in crisp suits moved purposefully through the corridors. On the 42nd floor, behind heavy oak doors, sat the corner office of Robert Mitchell, CEO and founder of one of the city's most successful companies. Robert sat behind his massive mahogany desk, reviewing quarterly reports. At 58, his salt and pepper hair was perfectly styled and his navy suit pressed to perfection. The walls around him displayed awards, certificates, and photographs of him shaking hands with mayors and governors. Despite all his success, something felt hollow these days. The meetings blended together. The numbers on spreadsheets had lost their meaning. Even his assistant's cheerful morning greetings felt distant. His thoughts were interrupted by a soft knock on his office door. Robert glanced at his gold watch. 9:15. That was odd. His first appointment wasn't until 10, and his assistant, Margaret, always announced visitors through the intercom. "Come in," he called, expecting to see Margaret with some urgent document that needed his signature. Instead, the door opened slowly, revealing a small figure. A little girl, no more than 7 or 8 years old, peeked around the edge of the door. She had shoulder-length brown hair tied back in a simple ponytail, and she wore a faded pink sweater that looked hand-knitted. Her jeans had a small patch on one knee, and her sneakers were clean but well-worn. Robert blinked, certain he was seeing things. In his 30 years of running this company, a child had never walked into his office unannounced. He set down his pen and leaned back in his leather chair. "Hello there," he said gently, his voice softer than it had been in months. "Are you lost, sweetheart?" The little girl stepped fully into the office, clutching a small envelope in her hands. She looked around at the impressive space with wide eyes, taking in the floor-to-ceiling windows that offered a breathtaking view of the city skyline. "No, sir," she said in a clear, polite voice. "I'm not lost. I'm here to see you. Are you the boss man?" Robert couldn't help but smile. "The boss man? Well, I suppose I am. I'm Mr. Mitchell. What's your name?" "I'm Emma," she replied, taking a few steps closer to his desk. "Emma Rodriguez. My mom was supposed to come see you today, but she's really sick, so I came instead." Robert's eyebrows raised. He quickly scanned his appointment book, and there it was. Maria Rodriguez, 9:30 a.m. The name rang a bell, but he couldn't quite place it. "Your mom, Maria Rodriguez?" he asked. "She had an appointment with me?" Emma nodded earnestly. "Yes, sir. She's been so worried about talking to you. She's been practicing what to say for weeks. But this morning she woke up with a terrible fever, and she could barely get out of bed. She was crying because she thought she'd lose her chance." Robert felt a knot forming in his stomach. He remembered now. Maria Rodriguez worked in the building's cleaning crew. She had requested this meeting through the proper channels weeks ago, though he hadn't bothered to read the details of what she wanted to discuss. "So you came in her place?" Robert asked, genuinely curious about this brave little girl. Emma reached into her pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper, along with the envelope she'd been holding. "She wrote everything down that she wanted to tell you. She made me promise to give this to you, even though she was worried you might be too busy for a little girl." Robert stood up from his chair and walked around his desk. He knelt down so he was at Emma's eye level. Up close, he could see that her clothes, while clean and well cared for, showed signs of wear. Her shoes were a size too big, probably hand-me-downs from an older sibling. "Emma," he said softly, "I'm never too busy for someone who's brave enough to speak up for their family. Will you tell me what's in the letter?" Emma's face lit up. She carefully unfolded the paper, handling it like it was made of precious silk. "My mom cleans offices in this building every night," she began. "She's been working here for 5 years, and she loves her job. She says she's proud to keep everything nice and clean for all the important people who work here." Robert listened intently, something stirring in his chest that he hadn't felt in years. Emma continued, "But my little brother, Carlos, he's only 4, and he's been getting sick a lot. The doctor says he needs special medicine, but our insurance doesn't cover all of it. Mom has been working extra shifts, but it's still not enough. She was going to ask if maybe she could work some day shifts too, or if there were any other jobs in the building she could do. As Emma spoke, Robert felt something shift inside him. Here was this small child speaking with such dignity about her family's struggles, showing more courage than most of the executives who sat in his office every day. "There's more," Emma said, looking at the letter again. "Mom wanted you to know that she never misses work and she always does her best. She says this building is like a second home to her and she wants to keep working here for a long time." Robert was quiet for a moment. He thought about all the evenings he'd worked late, never really noticing the cleaning staff who quietly went about their work. He thought about Maria Rodriguez, a woman who took such pride in her job that she'd requested a meeting with the CEO himself. "Emma," he said finally, "your mom sounds like exactly the kind of employee I wish I had more of. Someone who cares about their work and their family?" Emma's eyes grew bright. "Does that mean you can help us?" Robert stood up and walked to his desk. He picked up his phone and dialed his assistant. "Margaret, please come to my office immediately. And cancel my 10 o'clock appointment." Within moments, Margaret appeared at the door. She stopped short when she saw Emma, confusion crossing her face. "Margaret," Robert said, "I'd like you to meet Emma Rodriguez. She's here representing her mother, Maria, who works on our night cleaning crew. I want you to pull Maria's employment file and have HR prepare a new position offer." Margaret quickly jotted down notes. "What kind of position, Mr. Mitchell?" Robert looked at Emma, who was watching the conversation with wide, hopeful eyes. "Building Services Supervisor. Day shift. Full benefits package, including comprehensive health insurance. And I want her to start next Monday," Emma gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Really, you mean it?" "I mean it," Robert said firmly. "Your mother has shown dedication to this company for 5 years. And today you've shown me what courage and family loyalty look like. That's exactly the kind of people I want working here." Tears began to well up in Emma's eyes. "Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you so much. Mom is going to be so happy and Carlos can get his medicine now." Robert knelt down again and gently took Emma's hands. "No, Emma, thank you. You reminded me today what's really important. Your mom raised a very special little girl." As Margaret escorted Emma out of the office, Robert watched through his window as the small figure emerged onto the street below. She was practically skipping as she headed toward the bus stop, probably eager to rush home and tell her mother the good news. For the first time in months, Robert felt truly satisfied with a business decision. He realized that all the awards on his walls and all the profit margins in the world meant nothing compared to the simple act of helping a family in need. That evening, as Robert finally left his office, he took a moment to notice the cleaning staff beginning their shifts. He made a mental note to learn their names, to acknowledge their hard work. After all, they were the ones who truly kept his building running. Sometimes the most important meetings are the ones you never planned for.